Ramsey, Aubameyang, oh brilliant! He took it first time and with devastating effect. Put through by Steve Bold, would you believe it?
I don't want to waste what's left. The storms we
The game, according to the referee, and Bergkamp certainly life in hand.
No, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go.
Henry, what a goal!
Dance through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
He's in again, pushed out by Bartes, Wiltor!
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Blind Gooner. Welcome to this very late show on Sunday evening. Listen, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Before I get into introducing my guest, and before we get into talking about all things Arsenal, I just want to tell you a couple of things that's coming up this week. So yeah, I want to tell you a couple of things that's coming up this week. Firstly, tomorrow joining me will be Akil. Akil, who was on the call with the with Josh Kroenke. So he's coming on, and we're going to talk about all things Arsenal and the protest and the fans forum. Then Tuesday, got Sophie from the Highbury squad coming on. That's at 5 p.m. She's coming on at 5 p.m. Then on Friday, we have Lee Judges coming on at 3 p.m. So those are the planned, confirmed ones at the moment. But there may be other shows as well. So the one I might be getting Kevin Campbell back on. So that's not confirmed yet, but the ones I told you about are confirmed. They're ready to go ahead. So let's get introducing to my guest, Antony. How you doing? Thanks for coming back on.
I'm doing great, and you know what? After hearing that list of guests that you have lined up, I feel even more special being invited back onto the channel as always. So, no, I really appreciate you giving me some time, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, listen, it's mad, and do you know what? I was just sat there going through the list, and I was listening to myself talk it back, and I was like, "Oh, you can tell it's 10 p.m. at bloody night time." Like trying to remember all the list of guests, because I always planned, like when I was going live, I was like, I got to tell people that the guests coming up, and I had it in my head. And then when you're live, and you're like, "Oh, it's 10 p.m." and you just you get talking halfway through, and I was like, I've forgotten what I'm talking about. What am I actually talking about?
I've been there, believe me.
I'm not even had any drink or anything, and I've forgotten what I'm talking about. You know?
That's
it's
the
not
problem.
A good sign.
That's the problem. You haven't had any drink. That's why.
Yeah, that it probably is. It probably is, mate. You're probably right. Oh, but it's mad. It's mad. But yeah, listen. There's been lots going on, isn't there? What have you made of all this? Let's start with the Super League business, because it's kind of like football in the last week has just gone so crazy.
Yeah, it went absolutely mad. I guess the first thing I'll say is I'm delighted that it's not going ahead. I'm really happy it's not going ahead for obvious reasons. Am I surprised Arsenal were one of the clubs involved? No. I can't say I was overly surprised that Arsenal were trying to get in on the action. I guess looking at it from, I suppose, an Arsenal side of things, from a business side of things, the way the Kroenkes operate, they're just chasing the cash. Really, that's all we are. As we spoke about before, we're just a cash cow. We're just access to a couple of quid to fund their NFL venture. So it made, it didn't catch me by surprise at all that we were one of the clubs that were looking to be involved in this. What were we craving more than anything as Arsenal fans, as a club? It was, a pathway back into the elite level of European competition to play against, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, and whoever else. Unfortunately, as a fan base, I think I'll probably speak for everybody as an Arsenal fan here when I say this is not the way we wanted to do it. I'm, as much as I want us to be back in the mix at the highest level against the best teams in the world, I don't want it to be easy access. I want it to be earned. As difficult as it is, I want it to be earned. I think unfortunately the problem was, the club were, I don't even want to say the club, I'm going to say the owners. The owners were looking at the easy way to get us in there and make money. It's kind of, I guess, from their point of view, it was a no-brainer. Guaranteed X amount of money every single season. You're guaranteed your place in this elite competition. You're never going to be at risk of being out of it. So from a business side of things, I can see why we wanted to be in it. But from a fan perspective, no, it's not how you want to do things. I don't think I could have enjoyed it. And I guess put myself in the shoes of like a Leicester City fan or a West Ham fan or whoever. I mean, how bad would it hurt if, you had Arsenal currently 10th place in the league? Imagine we finish 10th place and you tell Leicester, "Oh, sorry, Arsenal are going to be in that competition next season," and you're not. Like, it just completely took the sporting integrity out of it altogether. So, as I said, as much as I'm craving the elite European level of football, it's not the way I want to get it. I'd rather we earn it ourselves.
Yeah, do you know what? And that's exactly what I was thinking when it first came out. Because when it first came out, the news, I was like, let me try and think about this for a second. Because I seen everybody on Twitter blew up and it was like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? I was like, let me just take a step back, think about their proposal. Because when it was announced, they kind of done it in dribs and drabs. So they announced it at 4, I think it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it kind of, the actual proper announcement came at 9, 10, I think it was well into almost 11 p.m. UK time when it came out. So I was like, let me see what they're proposing. Let me see what what's coming out. But when I saw it, I was just like, okay, I need to kind of read the whole thing before I make a judgment. And I read it and I was like, I can't find any logical reason for this to happen apart from money.
Yeah.
And then I woke up on Monday and it was still bugging me. I was like, I'm not comfortable with it. I wasn't fully against it at that point because, when you hear something, I was like, I don't know. I'm not fully against it, but there's something there going, do you know what? It doesn't feel right. And then as the day wore on, and as I was reading more into it and reading it again and again, I was like, this is bollocks. Like, it really is. And I just got so angry at the end. By the end of Monday, I was like, this is disgusting. Do you know what I mean? This is just, it's not right. And that niggling doubt that was there at the start just grew into a massive, great big horrendous. I was like, nah, not for me. And it made no sense. Like you said, I want to play teams in Europe, like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and all that. But I want to feel like when we play those teams, we'll have earned it rather than bought it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And how being in a league that you can't get relegated, that you just go in it every season. Only 5 teams can probably get relegated and go down, but Arsenal being one of the founding clubs, just being in a league where it just it just where you just get there by name only and money. I was just like, this is wrong. It's just all wrong. And I'm glad Tuesday was a mad day.
Yeah.
Absolute mad day, wasn't it? Because you had, I see people on Twitter calling it the Justice Day. Because because you had like it all fell apart, wasn't it? When Chelsea Chelsea fans were outside their game, they kicked it off, really, didn't they? They had their protest, and then everybody, it was like a domino effect. Chelsea left, Man City left, then it was Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, and it was just like leaving a bloody bad room. It's like someone had farted and everyone was like, I'm leaving, that smells. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's it, exactly.
It was, and then in the midst of all of that, you had all the stuff going on over in America with George Floyd and that. So everyone was like, oh, Justice Day for and I was just like, it's crazy, absolute crazy.
Yeah, but like the end result, I'm glad it ended how it's ended. The whole thing to me, like you, it took me a while to process what was going on, because this was something that had been spoken about. I remember even going back 10 years ago, Arsene Wenger had mentioned, someday we will see something along the lines of, this Super League with the elite clubs and that. But it was one of those things that it was always in the back of your mind, and it was always been spoken about in the background, but you always thought, there's no way this can actually happen. Like, there's no way it's actually going to go ahead, because for the longest time we've heard about Celtic and Rangers leaving the SPL, and even that seems too big to actually happen. So for the likes of this to happen, I was saying to myself, no, this is like some Football Manager kind of stuff that I used to do back in the day as a kid. I used to edit the game and make my own kind of fantasy league, just because it was something that could never happen in real life. That was just a bit of fun. But everything about it, the more I think about it, it's Stan Kroenke all over. Like, Stan Kroenke, as I said, is using Arsenal. I've seen David Ornstein today saying that the Kroenkes consider Arsenal and the LA Rams the jewel in the crown. Now, Arsenal are funding the LA Rams, so the LA Rams are the jewel in the crown. Arsenal are the jewel. You know what I mean? Like, they're the money maker for the LA Rams. That's the only reason they consider Arsenal, in any way, worthwhile for them. It's just because it's making the money. So again, the thoughts of taking Arsenal out of the Premier League to put them into a league where you cannot be relegated. You finish bottom of that table, but you're a founding club. You're still guaranteed your place every season. You're still guaranteed millions and millions and millions every single season. You don't have to actually spend money to be in a division competing with these teams, because whether you compete or don't compete, you're going to be in there. So for Stan Kroenke, he must have been licking his lips, rubbing his hands together, saying, this is great. We're playing against the elites in the biggest league, in Europe, probably going to be in the world, against the best teams every single season, with no chance of us not being there every single season. I don't need to invest because we're in there guaranteed. So, I can keep on pulling that money out and keep putting it back into the LA Rams or whatever the hell he wants to do with it. So I can completely see why he wanted to do it. But look, as you said, I'm really, really happy it didn't go ahead there. I think my camera might have froze. Can you still hear me there?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay. Don't mind that funny face I'm pulling there. I'll restart the camera now in a second. But
don't worry, your camera froze like Bert Leno. But we'll come on to that. Yeah,
I think even like that though. I think even frozen like that, my reflexes are a little bit better than Leno's have been the past couple of games. What I'll do is I'll restart the camera here real quick, will I? And I'll finish up the point there, and I'll just restart the camera here. So I'll be back to you now in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. Mad. So yeah, big up everybody in the chat. I hope you're all well. Right, let's have a look here. So yeah, big up to you guys in the chat. Do hit the like button as well. There you go.
Apologies. Do you know what? I get nights like this. I'm like Arsenal. I'll go through a week where everything works perfect, and then just as I think everything might be back to normal, I get all these issues again. But look, basically, I guess just to finish up what I was saying, like, am I surprised that this is what Stan Kroenke wanted? No, not at all. But look, as you said, yeah, justice was served. Many different levels, the George Floyd case. Look, what I love about what happened was, for the first time, I finally felt like, as fans, we actually had a voice, and our voices were heard. I know UEFA and FIFA had a massive role to play, but it was nice to be able to sit back at the end of the day and kind of go, you know what? I think they finally have taken into account, that fans have a say, and rightfully so. And, everybody was against this. I didn't speak to anybody that was in favor of this Super League. Nobody at all. Not of any of the clubs who are involved. I know one or two fans, obviously, of clubs, who support, clubs who weren't involved. So understandably, they weren't going to be too impressed. But any of the clubs involved, nobody seemed to go for it. I suppose what I will say in terms of Chelsea and Man City, they were the first to pull out, but at the same time, they were the two clubs whose owners didn't need to be in the competition. Arsenal could do with the money, Liverpool could do with the money, Man United, even the Spanish clubs. Barcelona have a lot of financial trouble at the moment. So really, City and Chelsea didn't even really need to be in it. I think it was more about a status kind of thing for their owners, for Abramovich and Sheikh Mansour. They kind of felt like, they had to be at that party. Not that they necessarily needed to be, but everyone is going to be there, So for those two clubs to pull out, I didn't think it was much. And I could be wrong, but I don't think there's been any protest from Man City really. I know a couple of banners went up about it, but definitely nothing on the level of like we've seen at Arsenal and at Man United. But look, we've probably plenty of protests ahead as Arsenal fans for different reasons.
Yeah, definitely. I seen you guys in the chat. Big up all you guys in the chat, and Arsenal Manic, I see you in the chat as well, and big up. Do you know what? A lot of people have been saying in the comment section when my videos have ended that they haven't been getting notifications. So that's why at the beginning, and I will run through it again, the list of shows and the times, because people, so you guys can set reminders, because people have not been getting notifications, and I know it's been frustrating a lot of people. So I am going to YouTube needs to sort that out, because it's getting ridiculous. Like, people have been getting notifications when the stream finishes, and it's
you know what, YouTube and the problems it's having. That one of the videos I put out the other day, I'd finished the stream and it told me I had 250, 260 views, and I came back to it 5 minutes later and it was over 1,500, and I'm going, what is going on here? Like, it's actually ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, mate, it is. It's mad. And what they done with the other week with the bloody likes and dislikes was horrendous, mate. Like, I was getting like, people were liking the video. I was coming off the stream and it'd be like 40 odd likes.
Yeah.
And then I'd check it in I think it was like I think I'd done one stream and it ended at 47 likes. I checked it and I'm like, 5 minutes after it ended, 25 likes. I'm like, what's going on? Like, really? Like, I know sometimes they move bot likes and stuff, but that was the week as well that I was getting really good viewership. So like, I was doing shows and they were getting up 200, 300 plus views, and I'm like, what is going on with these bloody likes? They just It's mad.
It is. It's frustrating. It really is.
It's total mad. So yeah, guys, I will later in the show run through the list of times again for those that missed it, and I'm a little bit more with it now the show's going. Like at the start, because I'd just come off a 2-hour show as well. I was on the Gooners podcast. If you're not subscribed, go and check them out. I was on there for 2 hours, and I was like, I come off and I was like, oh, I got a 45-minute break, and I wasn't completely with it when I started the show. I was stuttering worse than bloody Stan Kroenke at the start. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, what did you make of the game on Friday? Because a lot of the journalists, I know Charles Watts in particular, was tweeting that actually it was a sideshow. The real entertainment was going on outside.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll be completely honest. I kind of found myself. I was sat here at the laptop, and I was kind of so invested in everything that had happened that day with the protests. Like that, I had the game on the TV here in front of me, but it didn't really have my focus and attention that much. You know, I was kind of, as I was hearing kind of key things, I was kind of watching in and out. I felt, for a couple of reasons, I felt it quite hard to get invested in that game. And one was obviously because, you know, everything that had gone on with the protests. Like I said, my focus was more so on that. Like, I felt like that was more important than the game. And as I said, the reason why I felt it was more important is, for me, the league campaign was done a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, I had the same with, I've only missed 2 games live this season. There's only 2 games this season that I had to come back and catch up on. And now one was for genuine reasons. By the time I got off work and got home, I'd missed the West Ham game. And what a game to miss, the 3-3 game. So I got home and I was able to catch up on that. But the Fulham game, for the first time, I actually found myself saying, you know what, I'm actually not interested. I actually don't care. I don't care what way this goes, because it doesn't actually mean anything. I was looking at the Europa game instead, and I was saying, you know what, Slavia is the real game. That's the one that matters. And I gave myself a day off Arsenal, so to speak. I sort of said, you know what, I'm going out for the day. I'm not letting Arsenal spoil this Sunday for me. I'm getting out there, and like that, you know, I went out, had a great day out. Phone was off all day, and when I turned it on that evening, all hell broke loose. First of all, I'd seen, okay, Arsenal drew 1-1. We got a 97-minute equaliser through Nketiah, and that's when the news broke of this breakaway to the Super League. So it was a hectic evening. But I've kind of got like that now with the league campaign, because I'm still watching games. Maybe that Everton game and Fulham aside, but I'm still kind of there. But I'm finding it quite tough, if I'm being completely honest, to get overly invested now, because it does feel like they're kind of all dead rubber games. Like we know we can't get European qualification, you know, from the league position, and I've sort of felt that for a long time. So I'm really excited for the Villarreal game.
Villarreal game,
yeah, really excited.
I am. I can't get up for these Premier League games. I'll be honest. It's like drinking non-alcoholic beer, isn't it?
That's a great comparison. It's brilliant comparison.
It doesn't have the, like, it's football, but it doesn't have the same kind of buzz to it when there's nothing on it. It's mad. It's just. But see, the Villarreal game, I'll be buzzing for that, because there's like a potential final riding on it, and a route back into the Champions League. And you know, it's kind of weird as well, because the Villarreal game. So at the beginning of the week, on Sunday at the Fulham game, after the Fulham game, we were like, okay, the Villarreal game is the most important game. We knew that. Then when all this Super League business come out, it was, well, if we get to the Champions League, what's the point? It's a dead game now, the Villarreal game, because then we just go into this. Then the Super League fell apart, and it's, the excitement, the buzz is back on for the Villarreal game. And then there was halfway through that, there was Arsenal could get potentially chucked out of the Europa League. So it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Honestly, they put football fans through the mill last. I couldn't sleep at all last week. Like, I was just waking up going, oh my God, what if we get kicked out? Our season will have just been a waste of time. And it's just, it was mad.
Exactly. You know, at times you sit here and you say to yourself, this season has been a bit of a waste of time. And look, as Arsenal fans, we're suffering a lot as it is. So we don't need any extra things like that, you know, with this Super League and extra headaches then going, you know what, yeah, you might potentially win a European Cup. And is it going to count for anything? No. And then it would just be so typical of being an Arsenal fan. But yeah, like I'm definitely the same as you. I find it hard to get invested in the league games. Obviously, I'm still watching and, you know, as best I can and whatever. But yeah, it's hard to get, you know, up for something when you know there's no meaning behind it. But that's why with the Europa League, the fact that, you know, there's still something to go for. You know, we're still in the competition. We're still in the very latter stages of it. Potentially could go all the way to the final. Because I'll be honest, I think in terms of the draw of who's left, I think Villarreal are probably the weakest team left in the competition. But the only thing I will say is I think they're maybe the weakest squad, but with the strongest manager for the competition. So it's kind of a 50-50, you know, because obviously, you know, we know they've Unai Emery and he's Mr. Europa League. You know, he's won it 3 times with Sevilla. He got to a final with Arsenal. He's got himself to a semi-final. So they're definitely very well equipped with who they have, you know, managing at the moment. But like if you look at Villarreal, you know, they're not an awful lot better than us. They're not an awful lot worse either. No, they're 7th in La Liga. I definitely think it's a winnable tie for us, but at the same time, it's definitely a tie we can lose because we're pretty good at giving teams the advantage, as we saw against Everton. You know, we're scoring goals for the opposition. You know, both games this season against Everton, we scored the winning own goal against them. So yeah, look, it feels like I feel like I'm regurgitating the same stuff all season. You know, Arsenal not taking our chances, masters of our own demise. We're giving opportunities away left, right, and centre. You know, we're giving away stupid penalties. We're scoring own goals. You know, whatever error you can commit, we're liable to do it. So yeah, my biggest fear in every game is Arsenal. You know, I'm not even worried about Villarreal. I'm actually worried about what Arsenal could potentially do to themselves before I even look at the other team's lineup. You know, and it's not good for the head.
It isn't, mate. Honestly, you need like a skinful of alcohol before you watch Arsenal, before it's even bearable. Do you know what I mean? Especially it's do you know, it's funny as well, right? Because I said to my friend yesterday, just jokingly. So my doctor the other last year said, when I had depression and anxiety, said stay away from things that make you depressed. And I said to my friend yesterday, I feel like calling my doctor up and saying that's pretty hard because I'm an Arsenal supporter. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's but yeah, it's mad. It's total mad, mate. And it is. It's this team. It's like there's an element of self-destruct with this team.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's funny because obviously, you know, people come out and they say it's the manager and what he's coaching and whatever else. And I see people say, well, you know, is he coaching Bernd Leno to let the ball go in like that? And is he coaching Granit Xhaka to play the ball across the box and play the Chris Wood? You know, after so many errors, I'm starting to think maybe he is. You know, maybe they are practicing own goals in training. I don't know. I got to that stage where I'm saying, I just don't know anymore. And Daniel, you know, from me being on past streams before, I've been very reluctant to point the finger at the manager, and I've been very, as I stressed plenty of times, I'm not Arteta in, I'm not Arteta out. But as long as he's given me something, that I can kind of work with, I'm sort of saying, well, I'm happy enough to continue as is, as long as I can see something. I find myself, it's getting more and more difficult every single week for me to find positives now, and I'm starting to run out of them, and I'm getting to that stage. Not that I'm not Arteta out, but I'm getting to that stage where now it's becoming a struggle. It is getting more and more difficult to defend, and it is starting to become a bit more difficult to find these positives. We're seeing the repetition, the errors, and that, and you're kind of saying, is it something in the style of play, in the way he's setting them up, and of course I was fully expecting that it was going to be a bit of a turbulent season, that he is learning. I know we can't make that excuse for him, for too much longer, because how long before he's learned from his mistakes, because this season there's been plenty of them. So if this season isn't the season of learning, I don't know what is. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I do think we're going to continue with him next season, regardless. If we get knocked out against Villarreal, whether people agree with it or not, I do think the club will continue with him till they'll probably give him a couple of months at least next season, unless we start, first 5-6 games without a win. I can't see him being removed till probably in around the middle of next season. But look, I'm hoping, like as we said, look, players learn as they go on. I'm hoping the manager will learn, because he's definitely got an awful lot to learn. Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely has. He definitely has. Honestly, it's total mad. It really is, and it is the only positive as well is this Europa League. Honestly, if we go out in the semi-finals, you can forget the end of the season. I know people at the moment are talking about that last home game of the season. People could go there and when they start letting 10,000 fans in, and then obviously they're talking about another protest with the last game of the season, and there being a bit of a high, because people could meet up again, and but if we go out in the semi-final, you can forget all of that, because I tell you, it's going to turn very toxic very quickly.
Definitely. And in a sense, like Arteta has been very lucky this season that there has been no fans, because you can imagine what the atmosphere would have been like inside the stadium. It would have been very, very intense, and that's part of why I always believed, no matter what happens, he is going to get till next season, because even if fans are allowed in the last game of the season, it's only one game that they've got to bear with that, and then they've got that bit of a break until the new season starts. So I was always sort of expecting that, we're having no fans there. That definitely eases the pressure and buys them a bit more time. But in terms of the protests, I've kind of been speaking to a few people about it, so I'm not sure what your thoughts are about this protest planned, and people were looking at maybe before the home leg against Villarreal, but a lot of people are saying it might be an unnecessary distraction that day, because of the game that's on. It might take away from the players. So I'd be interested to know what your thoughts on that were.
I think we should keep these protests up. I think they should be every home game, especially the game that fans are allowed to go and watch the game, especially in the stadium. I think there should be a lot of pressure being put on, but there's no point in doing one protest and then just stopping. I think we need to go a lot further. But I listen, I can understand people not wanting to distract the team for this Europa League semi-final, but I don't know, like, I look at this team and we've got some crap players, but there's enough there to do better than what we are doing. And I just, it comes back to Arteta. Is he really good enough for this job, because somebody said it in the comments. I can't remember who it was. It was a while back. These comments are moving absolute crazy. That I think it was Sam. That Arteta, Emery had a worse squad than what Arteta's got, but did better.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately he failed, but he done a lot better. And you know the biggest problem with Emery, right? Yeah, and I look at Emery and I think, listen, the reason like we screwed up is because Emery screwed up himself. Like if it had carried on with the same sort of team that he did, you know, when he put that run together, we would have got top 4. We might not have won the Europa League, because I still believe that result would have happened, but we would be in the top 4. But he just, I don't know, towards the end, it's kind of like he didn't trust his own judgment and just went completely against what he'd done. And it kind of was like the start of him on the decline, because he was doing that the following season, just playing players out of position. It's kind of like he got through like 3/4 of the season, and then at the crucial point just forgot how to be a manager and forgot his experience.
Yeah, I guess it's like you said. I don't think he really trusted himself, because he definitely went into self-destruct in the league at the end of the season. Like that Crystal Palace game really stands out for me. He brought in, was it Carl Jenkinson at right back, and you were going, what are you doing? Like, you know, you just need to see this out till the end. And I know he was trying to keep, obviously the Europa League is what he wanted, but kind of all season, and this is what I sort of say to people, I do agree maybe he didn't get enough time, but I did feel it was only going one direction for Emery. It was only ultimately going to end the way it did, inevitably end. I sort of felt that even on that run, it was 21 odd games, I looked at the majority of those games and I felt like, you know, on another day we'd have lost this game. You know, even though it's 21 and it was definitely an impressive run, I was looking at it and going, do you know what, we're in no way convincing in any one of these games. And the whole fact that I don't think Emery, as you said, he didn't even trust himself. Like, how many times did we see him get to half-time and making half-time substitutions? And I remember people at the beginning were praising it and they were saying, you know what, I like this about this guy, because he's not willing to sit around and sort of go, you know what, this guy's not playing well. He's willing to pull him off at half-time. Then it became so regular, you kind of said to yourself, you know what, I'm actually a bit concerned here, because he's clearly not picking the right team over and over and over again. He's clearly getting it wrong every single time from the start, because he's making so many changes consistently in around half-time. And I think it was in around that, you know, people start losing faith in him. And I don't know whether maybe the players start losing faith, because they're going, you know, what's going on here? And in terms of, I guess what you could say, again, I kind of play devil's advocate with things here, you know. But I guess in terms of, you know, people are saying, you know, Emery did better with a worse squad. Well, look, he should, because he is a better manager. And he should be a better manager, because he's won the Europa League 3 times. He's managed Sevilla, he's managed Valencia, he's managed Paris Saint-Germain, he's managed Spartak Moscow. He should be a better manager than Arteta. He's far, far more experienced. So he should be able to take a worse team and do better than an inexperienced manager with a better team. You know, so technically, you know, Emery should be a better manager. And I'm surprised that people are surprised that Emery was able to do better with a potentially worse squad. You know, I think people are forgetting at times. You know, the argument for Arteta is that he's inexperienced and he shouldn't have got the job and whatever. You know, he wasn't ready. But then the fact that he isn't ready, people are going, you know, why is he there? What's this? And it's like, but we knew he wasn't ready. So, you know, at the start of the season, I knew he wasn't ready. At the start of the season, I wasn't happy with his appointment, and I knew it wasn't going to be smooth sailing. And I think the FA Cup, people are saying that's what is keeping him in the job. But I think, to be honest, I think that's what's made his job more complicated, because that raised the expectation for him from the start. Like, he came in and he won an FA Cup in his first 8 months. And thinking back to around that, I remember people saying, "This is the guy. This is the guy that's going to restore, the title challenge. This is the guy getting us back to the Champions League." I've seen people talking mad stuff like, "This guy's going to win a Champions League in 3 or 4 seasons," and I'm kind of going, "Hang on, lads, slow down, like relax a little bit." You know what I mean? He for me, he had that new manager bounce that we all get at the start, and he was able to transition that into an FA Cup, a cup run, and he won the cup, which was a great achievement. It really, really was. But I wasn't expecting this season was going to be, right, we won the FA Cup, we've got this second coming of Pep Guardiola, and everything is going to be all rosy in the garden. Like, he was still going to be learning, and I think the worst thing Arsenal could have done was made him full manager for this season, because he still had so much to learn. Because remember last season he came in, he was only a coach, really. He was left to look after the team, coach the team, pick the team, and do that side of it. He didn't need the added, full management and full control, because he was still learning the coaching side of things. Because even as a coach, he had a bit of time at Man City. He's still quite inexperienced, even as a coach. So I don't understand why we complicated it for him. We should have left him as he was to keep learning the way he was learning. And maybe we would have seen a bit more progression from him. But again, this is what I come back to when I say the ownership in and around the club. Like, a good owner wouldn't have dumped that on top of him. A good owner would have said, okay, this guy is still a novice. This guy needs help. I need to put the right people in place to ensure this guy can reach his maximum potential. But this is Kroenke all over, and this is how Arsenal's been run all over, that we're just, throwing guys into roles that aren't ready. We threw Gazidis into a role. We threw Raul Sanyehi into a role. Vinay is in a role now. And, are they the best men for the job? I think time so far has proved nobody that has been put into a job has been the best man for that job. And again, it's looking like that's probably going to be the case for Arteta. And I do feel for Arteta, because, as I said, I expect him to make mistakes. But what guidance has he got around him, and who has he got to tell him, aside from the fans screaming at him? Because, we're all experts, and we know exactly what's best for the club, yourself. But aside from us screaming, play this guy, do this, why are you doing this? Who has he got in around the club that's able to pull him aside and say, maybe you should try this, or maybe do this? He doesn't really have anybody. And that's why, as I said, look, if he goes in the morning, I'm still an Arsenal fan, and I'm still continuing to support Arsenal, and life goes on, and it's all fine. But I do feel for him, and I do feel he has been set up completely to fail, with the way things are in and around the club, and what he's been provided or not provided. I do think he's been set up to fail. But look, I think any man that takes that job is set up to fail. Like, Unai Emery was set up to fail. Unai Emery wanted certain targets, and he was told, no, you can't have them. So are we get rid of Arteta in the morning and, bring...
That's what I feel a bit sorry for Emery, because a lot of people, I felt a bit sorry for him, because, if they backed him the way that they've backed Arteta, and this is what makes no sense, right? Yeah. And I know people say, well, have they really backed Arteta? Listen, they backed him more than what they backed Emery. If they backed Emery in the same way that they're backing Arteta, he might have succeeded. He might have got the players he wants, and then it might... Listen, the only thing that I sit there and look on Emery is that even with if they had backed him, would he have still... Because I feel like he lost his head, especially in that last season when we had top 4 in our grasp and he just made the wrong changes. And then from then on, take away the Europa final, because I don't generally blame him for that. I think that was wholeheartedly the players. But then when you look at the first half of that season before he lost his job, he was making decisions like playing Lucas Torreira in a number 10 role, And it was just like,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's his fault completely. And what's frustrating about Emery is that he knew if he played to his potential, like played the team to his potential, like he did at the start, yes, he might not have. We rode our luck in that 21 game unbeaten. But if he'd been backed and if he'd played the way that we did then, he could have been quite successful.
Yeah, again, I saw a comment there saying Emery wasn't set up to fail, but look, Emery wanted Zaha and they gave him Pepe. Emery wanted Nzonzi and they gave him Torreira. Straight away, you're not giving your manager what he wants and what he feels he needs. He wanted Ever Banega. Who do you get? Guendouzi. I'm not saying these are bad players, and see, the club was obviously looking at it going, no, these targets will have a higher ceiling and a higher sale value than what you want. Now, he was obviously thinking, well, this is what I need to stabilise my team. Now, these were experienced players he knew and trusted. And he straight away, he wasn't allowed the targets he identified and he wanted. So, like, what message does that send to a manager straight away? To me, that's not backing a manager. So yeah, I agree. I definitely feel for Emery. It was only ever going to go one way. You're giving players that, did he rate the guys that he got? Was he told, this is what you're getting, whether you like it or not, take it or leave it. So yeah, I think Emery was set up to fail. And I think this is part of why they hired a guy like Arteta, because Arteta, he's going to be that naive as well, because, like I said, inexperience, they're going to tell him, look, this guy's available. There you go. There's money there if you want to sign him. And we've seen, Arteta is a yes man. Arteta, he said a lot of stuff at the beginning and he hasn't lived true to his word. So I fully believe they have been able to manipulate him pretty easy. And I also think that's part of why they're not going to remove him anytime soon, because I don't see him coming out and criticise and a bit like Arsene Wenger to a sense. Arsene Wenger was great from a board sense because he was never going to come out and tell you exactly what was happening. He was always the man that was going to take the hit, and everybody was blaming him for what went on when we know he wasn't being given funds and whatever else was going on in the background. But he would never say that. And I think Arteta's going to be the same, and that's exactly what this board want. They want the guy to be the face of the club and take all the bullets, while they sit back and, everything's cool. But yeah, look, is Arteta the man? The way things are right now, no, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be. I'm not defending Arteta to anybody here, but look, I don't think the next man is going to be the man. I don't think the man after that is going to be the man. I think Kroenke's got to go, then maybe we might see someone come in that might be able to do something, because I definitely think, yes, we could definitely do better from a managerial sense. We could definitely bring someone else in who will get more out of the team, can definitely progress the team. 100% we can, definitely. As to be expected, look, if you bring in an experienced guy, it's expected you're going to get more because they're better able to deal with, with day-to-day management and whatever, and they won't have those novice mistakes that Arteta has. But what's it going to take, from my point of view, for Arsenal to be successful again or competitive? I think it has to start at the top. It's got to start with Kroenke. And I just don't, I can't see, how long is he there now? How many years is he involved with us at this stage? And have we been in any way kind of competitive while he's been there? No, we haven't, unless, if you count FA Cups and, Europa League runs, maybe, but in a league sense, I just don't see us progressing under Stan Kroenke.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Guys, do hit the like button. There's loads of you in the chat tonight. Please drive the likes up. And while there's so many of you in the chat, I just want to tell you about this week's schedule, because a lot of people have complained about not getting notifications from YouTube. So if I tell you all now, you can set reminders and you can you don't have to rely on the YouTube notifications. So tomorrow, I'm going to be joined by Akil. He was on the call with Josh Kroenke. and a big influencer in the protest. So he's coming on tomorrow. We're going to be talking all things the forum and everything that took place after that. So that's at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So yeah, do set your reminders for that. Then on Tuesday, I'll be joined by Sophie from the Highbury squad. So yeah, do check that out. That's also at 5 p.m. And then on Wednesday, I'm not entirely sure what's happening Wednesday. I think I've got Scott from the Red Cannon coming on Wednesday. I think that's at 1 p.m. So that's at the slightly earlier time. Then on Friday at 3 p.m., I've also got lead judges coming on. And somewhere in that week, potentially Kevin Campbell, but that's not confirmed yet. So I don't have a time because I'm waiting for him to get back to me to see when he can come on. He's just got to check his availability. So yeah, there's a massive week next week for all the guests. So yeah, do set your reminders. I will post it in the community tab. For those that can't remember it or probably forget, I'll post it in the community tab. So keep your eyes peeled at my community tab because I will post it there. But yeah, do smash the likes, guys. Drive the likes. We're almost at 2,000. We're literally 32 subs away from it. Maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, we're literally so close. So do hit the share button as well. And while I'm sort of shouting everything out, go and subscribe to Antony's channel as well. Republic of Arsenal. Unfortunately, because how many subs are you on now, Antony? Is he? Oh, okay, there we go.
Sorry, this.
I didn't realize you dropped off. I was like, yeah. I was just shouting out your channel while I was giving all the notices and stuff. So,
oh, cheers! I think Stan Kroenke has hacked into my laptop because he knows that I'm calling him out here tonight. So
yeah,
he's not happy.
How many subs you at now on your channel?
We're almost at the 300, almost there now. So
come on, guys, go and subscribe to Antony and get him up to 300. Because I was just saying there, unfortunately, I could normally what I do with people's channels is I tag them in the title. I tag the channel. You can do the app thing, but you can only do it. YouTube has this weird policy where you can only do it to channels that are over 1,000 subscribers, and it makes no sense at all why you can't do it to smaller channels as well.
Definitely,
it's absolutely insane. It's total mad. So yeah, that's absolutely crazy. But I wanted to ask you, with these protests taking place and with everybody pulling together, do you think we'll ever get Stan Kroenke out the football club?
Look, I guess it's going to be a tough one. Like we know he's an absentee owner, so I do wonder to myself, does he follow anything that goes on with Arsenal? Does he tune in to Sky Sports to watch Arsenal, to watch what's going on? Does he watch Arsenal games? There was one of the guys on Sky Sports. He mentioned that one of the owners of those 6 breakaway English clubs attended a game last season, and his side were playing away, and he had to ask, which is our team? And this is the guy who owns the club, and I've absolutely no doubt that was Stan Kroenke. Absolutely no doubt. It could only have been Stan Kroenke to sit there and ask, the club that you own, which team are we? And that says it all about how much he gives a shit, really, and I think it was David Ornstein that came out today and said, whatever's gone on with Arsenal with the fan unrest and the protest, Kroenke has already faced so much worse in the States. When he moved his NFL team, he moved them from one city to another, to LA, and there was uproar over it. So he's already gone through this on a whole different scale. So it's going to take an awful lot, I think, for Arsenal fans to be able to apply enough pressure to get Stan Kroenke out. It's a really, really tough one because, I really do think, we've got to keep it up and we've got to keep the protests going and let this guy know, we're far from happy. But ultimately, he's only there for money, and as long as the money's still rolling in, he's going to be happy to sit in his ranch over in America and just pretend there's nothing happening as long as the zeros keep adding up in his bank account. So it's gonna get to one of those stages where I think the only way to get the guy out is when he starts seeing, that he's losing money, and what that's gonna take. I'm not too sure. I don't know how exactly to go about that, because I know people have said, stop buying merchandise and whatever, but how much does that really account for, the money coming in? And then people are saying, well, don't buy tickets to games and stuff. But at the same time, the way I look at that is, why should the fans have to suffer and not attend games? And then why should the team have to suffer and not get the fan support? Because at the end of the day, look, it's not the manager's fault. It's not the player's fault. It's the owner. So it's kind of a catch-22. You want to hurt the owner's pocket enough that he's going to leave. But at the same time, you want to be there to support the team because they definitely need the support. They definitely need it. Whether he's going to sell, I really don't know. It's going to take, Ornstein said it's going to take an astronomical figure, which is, over 2 billion, which is already a crazy figure. But I think he's going to have to get something enough that he's going to say, yeah, look, it's worth my while. I'll take this and I'll get out. So where that's going to come from, I really don't know.
And that's the thing as well. When you talk about, because I've seen on Twitter a lot of people going, give up your season ticket. Give up your season ticket. Don't go. Don't do that. And I'm just sat there thinking, if you give up your season ticket, yeah, you're probably making a stand, and morally you're thinking, okay, well, I'm doing my bit. But here's the thing. The season ticket waiting list is like 10 to 20 years long. So you might give up your seat, but the money's still going to go into his pocket because somebody else is going to go. The only person that loses out is you. Because
exactly.
When change happens, you're going to have to start right back from the pile, and you could be waiting for another 10 to 30 years for a season ticket. By the time you've done that, your life's pretty much over, isn't it? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gain anything from that, and nor you just lose out. And again, with people that have just renew their season ticket and don't go, again, you're the only one that's losing out because you've paid all that money, not getting any benefits from it, but yeah, he's still getting his money. So you can do that, but it just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. I realized I've frozen, but I'm not even going to restart the camera because at least I don't have an overly stupid poll. So I think I'll leave it at that for the moment. As long as you can hear me, it's all good. But, yeah. No, like I kind of had this conversation with someone the other night, who is a season ticket holder, and he said, just as you said there, the waiting list is so long. For him to kind of make a stand and give up the season ticket like that, when the good times roll back around, and hopefully they will sooner than later. But he said, like same as you, it could be 10 to 15 years. The waiting list is that long. So let's say Kroenke does go in the next 2 to 5 years or whatever, and you still can't get yourself back in there, and you're the one that suffers. So yeah, I completely see why you wouldn't give up your ticket and that. Because it is you that has to lose out then. And as bad as it is, we sit here and we'll complain about this, that, and the other, and we'll say, look, we're not attending games, but for every one of us that says that, there's going to be, another person who thinks differently to us, because we're all getting together and we're all saying, well, we don't agree with this, we don't agree with that. But for every one of us saying that, there's someone else out there that is going to say, you know what, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'll take that seat. Yeah. Like I'll take that season ticket off it.
Yeah.
And there'll be other people that'll be more than happy to go. You're never going to get an entire fan base on the exact same page. So look, 60,000 people don't show up, to match day, the weekend. There'll be another 60,000 people who will be more than happy to get in and take those seats. And that's the way it is. And this was like the whole thing with, I think whatever about the people who are kind of closer to home in and around the stadium, like the kind of local fans and that, there's plenty of fans worldwide who, again, it's, kind of a once in a lifetime experience. They'll come over and they're not going to, like, if they have a chance to get a ticket, they're like, yeah, definitely. Like, how often am I going to get to see Arsenal? Even for myself, like here in Ireland, if a ticket comes available and I can go, of course I'm gonna take that opportunity, because I don't have that easy access to games. And this was supposed to be a lot of the thinking behind the Super League. They were sort of saying you don't even need the season ticket holders, because there's so much interest from the international fans that, with the TV subscriptions and all sorts. So yeah, it is a hard one.
Yeah,
I'm hoping he bites the bullet and just needs to go and just let us have our club.
Talking of international fans, big up Mark Harris from watching from Australia. Nice timing as well. You talk about international fans, and I just see the comment there.
That's it, exactly.
So yeah, big up. That's the advantage of doing late night shows. Is you get the guys.
And I see Sam is in there. Sam is in there all the way from Norway.
Yeah, Sam from Norway, an international audience. It's nice to see. Nice to see an international audience.
Brilliant.
But yeah, like I take the viewpoint that you do. I just look on it and think, yeah, you could give up your ticket, and I'll be honest with you, right? Yeah, as much as I'm frustrated with the team right now, and as much as like I'm sat here listening to the game, going, I have no interest, and I'm just fed up with the way the team's playing, and it's a dead season. If they said to me tomorrow, right, the rest of the games, even in the rest of the games in the Premier League, we're going to allow fans back. Yeah. I'll be right there, because a match day isn't just about the game. Yeah. It's about going to meet your friends in the pub, go to have a few beers, just the smell of somebody put a tweet out. I can't remember it saying you're not a true football fan until you've gone to the stadium and smelt the aromas of burger and piss on a match day. It's like
there's nothing
it's
like
so
it.
True though. It is, because especially going to the Emirates, right? Yeah, you've got like 60,000 sweaty bodies, along with grilled hot dogs on the stands at the going in and out of the stadium. It's like, honestly, I don't know if I could. It's like an addiction, isn't it? Like if Arsenal's playing, it's like a bad marriage, isn't it, as well? Like it's bad, but you're just addicted. It's just
that's it.
You know that you disagree. That, but you can't give it up.
Once you're in, you're in. It's hard to get out then.
Yeah. But it's mad. It's total mad. Let's grab a few comments.
Yep.
Big up, Jer. I'm not. Listen, mate. I'm not even going to attempt to announce your name, but the guy from Switzerland. Big up to you as well. Let's have a look here. What have we got? Abe, I'm not reading your comment out, you dirty git.
While you're reading comments, I'm going to try restart this camera again. I don't know what is going on. I wouldn't mind. I stopped using my camera today. I'm using the laptop camera because the other one was giving me trouble, and now the laptop camera is letting me down. So I'll see.
So what are you using? Have you got an external camera? Have you got a?
I have, and I stopped using it there kind of recently because it was acting up a bit, and I was just using the built-in internal laptop camera, and it's been perfect since I've been using it about 2 weeks now, and it's been absolutely perfect until tonight. So I don't know whether it's just my internet.
Do you know what it is, mate? Honestly, I had doing shows as well. So like the other day, I was doing a show, and I started the show off really well. I was like, oh yeah, and then I saw all the comments, and it was we can't see you, we can't hear you. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, I haven't added myself back into the broadcast while the intro was playing.
Oh,
so it was just a dud screen, and I was, oh mate, I was just like, I felt like such an absolute idiot.
I've been there.
I've done that many a times as well. Like I've been talking, and then I've saw I'm on mute. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, also been there. Right, I'll see, can I start this again, or even I have a little just avatar I can throw up, just get some audio. I might maybe even just leave it like that. At least it's not my dopey face.
Let's have a look here.
Yeah, it's frozen.
What have we got here? Yeah, so big up everybody in the chat. Like, there's loads of you. Smash the likes. It really helps the growth of the channel. So yeah, do smash the likes. And for anybody that's joined late, I'll just quickly run through the schedule again. I am going to post it in the community tab. So tomorrow and Tuesday, both the times my shows are going to be at 5 p.m. And tomorrow I've got Akil coming on. And then Tuesday, I've got Sophie from the Highbury squad. Wednesday, the show will be at 1 p.m. UK time. This is all UK time, by the way. And then I've got Scott from the Red Cannon coming on. And then Thursday is the only time that I haven't got any shows planned. So I'm going to get something in there. But Friday, I've got lead judges coming on. So yeah, that's at 3 p.m. But I will put it in the community tab. So check the community tab, because I will write it all down and post it in the community tab. So as soon as I'm done here with this show, I will community tab all the shows. So check the community tab, and you won't miss a show, because I know that YouTube notifications are as reliable as Burt Leno right now. So
reliable as my camera.
yeah, like your cameras.
It's trying to give me a hint here.
Your cameras. I think Stan Kroenke's just got hold of your camera. He's like, "What's going on here? I can see so some guy in Ireland is not talking very highly of me." So
I think Sam Greenwood found a way into my laptop because he knew I was going to talk about Arteta tonight. So he was yeah.
That's it. See, over there in Norway causing havoc. That's mad. That's mad. Let's see. So, listen, we've been going for 1 hour, an hour and 10 minutes. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably wrap the show up here. But Antony, just tell the guys what you got coming up on your channel.
Yeah, so yeah, look, as you can see, the Twitter handle down below, Rep of Arsenal, if you want to give me a follow on Twitter, and the channel is Republic of Arsenal. I'm hoping now I'm going to have a Villarreal preview coming up. I have a guy, one of the writers from Football London, who is a Villarreal fan, a journalist. He's actually an English guy, but he's a Villarreal fan, La Liga obsessive. So I'm hoping I should know by tomorrow. Hopefully he will be available to come on, and we'll get a bit of an insight, because like that, I like to, as best I can, I like to try, get the rival fans on to get their point of view and opinion and that. And as I always say, I'm not going to pretend I know more than a Villarreal fan is going to tell me. So it's always nice to kind of hear from the horse's mouth, as they say. But yeah, Daniel, just kind of like yourself, I try to put out the Arsenal content as much as I can. And look, I just want to say a big thanks to you. You've given me plenty of opportunities from the very beginning, and I really do appreciate every time you give me a spot on the channel, especially, as I said, when you hear the lineup of guests that you have and have had. So it's always a real honor to be allowed to come on and speak to you.
Yeah, no, mate. Anytime. I know you've been mad busy over the last week, so I know. Anytime I've got slots free, I always drop you a message and say, "Hey, do you want to come on?" And because I know you've been mad, crazy busy. And I think it was last week I said, "Oh, do you want to come on?" You had shows booked, and it's a competitive world, YouTube, because you get guests on, and then everybody, because everybody wants you to go on their show, and it's hard, mate, because I get it as well. So when people ask me, and because you do your own shows as well, and you want to try and make time to go on other people's shows, but do your own shows, and then you just sit there thinking, well, do you know what? If I did everybody's, in the same week, you'd just be YouTubing all day, and then
Definitely.
Especially I know you with your work as well, and it's hard to prioritize. Do you know what I kind of do, right? And this is I know the guys on the chat room is probably going to tune out here, but I'll give you when we end the show, I'll give you a little tip off air with the shows and with the structure and that, because it works well for me, and it might work well for you as well.
Brilliant. I could use the tips, definitely.
But yeah, listen, guys. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Do smash the like button on your way out. Do hit the subscribe button as well if you're new, and check the community tab. Look out for the community tab, because in the next 20 minutes I'll be posting the schedule. So obviously you don't have to rely on the YouTube notifications. You guys can see the schedule and then make it obviously make notes or set reminders on your phone and stuff, because I know a lot of people in the comments section, when the video's finished, that's when they get the notification. They're like, "Oh, you were streaming and we missed it. We want to join." And I swear, like, there was 20 people in here at one point, but then I get people watching after going, "Oh, I would have liked to have been in," and I would have had at least 45, 50 people in at one point. But it's mad. YouTube needs to sort that out. Yeah, but anyway, guys, look out for the community tab. And until tomorrow, listen, take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.